Wait for the 15-second mark. And there's the 15-second mark. So what the fuck is up, y'all? This is KreyzMcKormik up in this motherfucking bitch. That's my tagline. Don't fuck with me. That's my tagline. Alright. We have some family in town. They're staying over with us for the day. Oh, hey, shit, already with the notification squad. Maximum Overload, Alan the Clown, Viola 70, Siznak, G Prime 008. What up, motherfuckers? Psycho T, what's up? And I don't know if you had already taken a look into the description. What's up, Riders 187? But we're gonna get into some shit. Just so you know, first off, we're going to be talking about Astronomicon, and also the fact that Twiztid ended up saying that apparently the Juggalos have turned their backs on them. We're going to get into that shit, and we're going to talk about some more stuff if we have some allotted time. Before I go ahead and get into that, I might as well go into the shilling. We do have t-shirts available. I got 4 t-shirts. Links are all in the description below. Got a t-shirt for NES Man, which is a Hatchet Man with the Nintendo logo on the inside. The return of the Dragon Spit Flames Mordecai logo t-shirt. I have a new one called Diapergate Victim. And I just created a new one called I'm a KreyzMcKormik Guy, which is just a playoff of the Paul Heyman Guy t-shirt, but it says KreyzMcKormik. All t-shirts are $17. All of them except for the KreyzMcKormik Guy t-shirt actually comes in a multitude of different colors. And then on top of that, we also have Patreon, which that's available. Also, Super Chat is available. It's not recommended, but it is all appreciated. So let's go ahead and get into this shit. So first off, we got Twiztid, specifically Paul, trying to say that fucking Juggalos had turned their backs on them. You know, I remember back in 2014, I believe it was, 2013, 2014, something like that, when they actually made the announcement that they were going to be leaving Psychopathic Records. My fucking cousin just walked right in front of the camera. Gotta be a diva.
The police are outside.
So?
Oh my god, 3 cop cars.
Oh, who gives a shit?
Cop cars.
Who gives a shit? They're not after you.
God, it's police. What are they doing?
Arresting some fucking idiot. We're on the west side. Right?
Alright, bye cats.
You don't have to lock the cats in there. So anyway, yeah, is the fucking mixed cousin fucking worried about the popo on the west side. I love my family. Anywho, so let's go ahead and get into this shit. So Paul basically goes on Brunch and Bake, and he says that Twiztid, you know, their backs have been turned on by the Juggalos. Juggalos have turned their backs on fucking Twiztid. You know, like I said, I remember back in, what was it, like 2013, 14, 15, something like that. Somewhere in that span, Twiztid ended up making the announcement that they were going to be leaving Psychopathic, because if they didn't, then they would not be able to be Twiztid anymore. And I know that this is ironic that I'm wearing the Chaos and Chronic tour shirt and everything, so I wore this to work, by the way. And yes, Big Irish, I know, Paul done lost his goddamn mind. Both of them, actually. I would say both Paul and Jamie have lost their fucking minds when it concerns all of this shit, because, like, do you even fucking understand how a timeline works? Like, okay, first off, Twiztid left, and that was like, you know, it was kind of, well, you know, some of us were upset, you know, some of us ended up being accepting about it. I was very accepting of it. I was like, look, as long as nothing changes within the realm, as long as there's really no beef, no static or anything like that, then I have no problems with Twiztid fucking leaving. You know, that's just another brand that Twiztid is going to be able to expand all of this shit within the Juggalo community that we know of. You know, and I had absolutely no bones about it. You know, I was just like, okay, what's going to change other than the fact that Twiztid no longer has a Hatchet Man label on their shit? Like, that was the only thing that was a real problem. And then we fast forward to 2017 and towards the end of 2016 where all of that shit fucking went down. A lot of people got pissed off at the fact that you know, they signed Young Wicked and it was done like that over some bullshit. You didn't really miss much, Joshua Sizemore. All you missed was the promotions and some of the other shit, like what I was planning on talking about. Which, you know, like, I'll be honest with you, when it concerned everything that happened because of the march, that is the one point where they ended up having Juggalos turning their backs on them. And then ever since then, it's just been like, instead of trying to correct the problem, they've just added on to it. Part of it ended up becoming a lot of the things that were in the tell-all from ICP on Faygo Lovers. Now, a lot of people that don't like ICP can go ahead and, you know, some of the Twizzlers and shit that are out there, you know, they're really going to get to the point where they say, well, you know, Faygo Lovers is basically bought and paid for by fucking Psychopathic. They tell them this is what we want you to edit out and blah, 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 which, you know, when it concerns this tell-all, I don't think that Scotty D left anything out except for whatever ums and uhs that needed to be taken out. Nothing really pertaining to the point of the fucking story. You know, so when it concerns all of that shit, it's like, you know, it got to a point where a lot of us were just like, well, we really don't know what to believe. You know, Twiztid, basically, all they've said so far is that nobody on M&E is going to be part of the march, which really hurt a lot of Juggalos, because it's, and I agree to that, Big Irish. Dude, I know. Fucking Scotty, like, I know that Scotty tries to make sure that it's an unbiased situation. I remember in recent memory, fucking Scotty was like detested at the fact that he had to post something on Faygo Lovers about Child's Play Ninja, because, you know, Child's Play Ninja, like a lot of Juggalo vloggers here on YouTube, we have our own opinions about certain shit. And he was just like, I don't want to do this because I know it's gonna like drill into the beef, but it's news and I have to. I remembered that shit. Nevertheless, though, I mean, a lot of the stuff that really it boils down to when Paul tries to say, well, you know, the shit fucking had, you know, like the Juggalos turning their backs on Twiztid and shit, it all has to do with the march. And as much as there are people out there that want to say, hey, we got to stop talking about the march, it's been over, it's been done with, every once in a while there has to be some situation that the march is going to be brought up on. And Paul saying this shit is exactly what it is. You know, that, you know, the fact that he ends up saying that, you know, the Juggalos turned their backs on Twiztid. Sorry, Twiztid, but you turned your backs on us first. You ended up giving us a 9-month advance notice in saying, fuck you and what you think, we're not attending the march. And a lot of people are trying to say that it's water over the bridge, but it's just not the fact. The fact of the matter is, I don't have a lighter, so I'm going to have to chain this. The fact of the matter is that a lot of Juggalos fucking got hurt. You hit them in the feels, son. You hit them in the fucking feels because you decided that you were not going to be helping us. Even if you believed in it or not, is irrelevant. The relevancy point is the fact that these are the people that you said that you breathe and live for and die for. And the fact that you told us that we can eat a dick in so many words if we're going to be attending the march, well, we're not going to be there. And with no real explanation as to why for a long period of time. And when you had the chance to give out your response and to explain why it was that you weren't going to be going to the march, y'all turned it into a big fucking joke with, just like 10-second spots of you guys talking, and then from like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And it was like, well, what the fuck is this? This really doesn't explain shit. All it shows is that y'all are fucking just dicking around. And thank you, Static Beats, for the diamond and dragon emojis. And I know that there's a lot of newer people that are up in here that are chatting and shit. I'm sorry I'm not paying attention, but I'm just kind of on a roll here. But when it concerns that shit, I mean, that's the same shit that everybody else has been saying, and I know that, but it's the truth. Twiztid can bitch about the Juggalos turning their backs on them all they want. The fact matters that you motherfuckers turn your backs on us first. When you say that, you'll have us, you'll have our backs under any circumstances, the one time that we ask for that, you duck out. And I've been saying that for over a year now. And a lot of people have been saying that for over a year now. The day that you made that announcement was the day you stabbed Juggalos in the back. And there are some Juggalos I know that are out there that consider themselves in the gray area. People like Don Chaos and, a lot of other Juggalos that are just trying to say that they want to keep it, keep it the music. But, and I've had to combat those people. Trying to tell me that I'm a fucking idiot because I don't keep it in the, just keep it within the music. But when you're invested into this shit for a very long fucking time, you do kind of tend to get somewhat of a kinship with these people. And it's almost like friendship, almost like brotherhood, you know what I mean? And because of them stabbing us in the back, it's kind of like, let me put it to you this way. My brother is, my brother just fucking went to jail recently. And turns out that it was because of a lot of shit going on with meth, which is fucked up because he's not a Juggalo. But I had my suspicions about all of this stuff. I even told him that I was having the suspicion that he was on meth. He's like, I'm around people who do it. I'm around people who sell it. But I don't do that shit. But he's had one felony every year for this type of stuff. And it kind of sucks hearing about that shit because he flat out fucking lied to me. As a matter of fact, I know for a fact that he ended up stealing a cell phone from me just because it has a fucking lithium battery in it. And lithium is actually one of the key ingredients in meth. So like my brother, who I look forward to seeing at any given point in time, we're not very close, but I am kind of on his nuts because I barely have ever seen him my entire life. He's been in jail for more than half of my fucking life. But having found out about that shit, especially when he stole from me, my brother, my flesh and blood, stole from me. I haven't spoken to him in 2 years because of that shit. And then it come to find out that he's in fucking prison now because of a bunch of bullshit that ended up going down. But even fucking blood. Because he fucking stabbed me in the back. It doesn't matter if it's a fucking, You know, it's not, it doesn't matter if it's a fucking cell phone or anything like that. Like, you did me wrong and you consider yourself family. Sorry, but fuck you. You know, the only way that you're going to be able to get in touch with me and actually be able to mend the fence is if you fucking do the right thing and fucking admit your failures, admit your faults, and apologize. And that's the same thing that I look at when it concerns Twiztid. I am looking towards Twiztid and basically saying, motherfucker, y'all fucked up. And you continue to fuck up by trying to cover up previous fuck-ups. And all we're really asking, maybe, is just to get an apology out of you, you know? When Paul ended up saying, if there is documented proof that that's what all of this shit's about, when it concerns like the whole gang list and all that other stuff, he publicly apologized. And I can guarantee you that their inboxes got flooded with information. Multiple numbers of ninjas that were actually sending them this shit. And yeah, I agree, Spinks. You know, Twiztid is on a super high horse. And, you know, it might take a minute to actually fucking get them to actually be on that fence. To actually just sit down and fucking apologize to the Juggalo community for not being there when we needed them. And maybe that's something that a lot of Juggalos would actually look forward to seeing, especially ones that are in the same fucking situation that I'm in, and I know a lot of you feel the same way about it as I do. But maybe that's all it is just look, just have them sit down and be like, okay, look, we did talk shit behind closed doors. We have been trying to convince people that there is no gang list and all of this other stuff. And we acknowledge the fact that we are the reason why the Juggalo community has turned their backs on us, and for that we apologize. It's not really that hard to fucking say. But, you know, of course, you've got to have some fucking feeling into that shit. I have doubts of that, Curtis Nation. You know, I'm actually wondering that myself too, G Prime. But but before I get into anything else, I do actually want to get into the conversation when it concerns Astronomicon. So, Astronomicon basically had kind of a John Cena versus The Rock length of advertising and promotion and stuff like that, and it looked like a bunch of people fucking got to go. And like, I've seen pictures of Astronomicon, the place was fucking packed. I also had seen Sid Jones basically just swinging off of dicks like motherfucking you know, Harry from Pitfall. Just one dick after another like a vine. Like, he went from the first Michael Myers to fucking, you know, some redheaded motherfucker to Gmo Ski and fucking King Gordy and a bunch of other people, you know, basically saying, you know, watch the Sid Jones show, watch Situation, and fuck what you think. And it was just all of these motherfuckers that he got recorded on there and shit. But I could tell that he was actually having a good time. Now, there were some other ninjas that I know that did end up actually going to Astronomicon. And another person that I know of that went to Astronomicon was Echoside Fiend, and he looked like he had the time of his life over there too. The only thing that was a real downfall when it concerns all of that shit, though, is the fact that the angry video game nerd James Rolfe was not able to go because his flight to Detroit had actually been canceled. You know, we got hit with some pretty heavy snow, and I believe he lives in Jersey, so I'm pretty sure that Jersey probably got way worse conditions than we did. So, when it concerns Astronomicon, I honestly have to say that despite all the bullshit that had been going down behind the scenes with Juggalos and Twizzlers and shit like that, Astronomicon ended up being a success. And Twiztid did even say that they are going to be back next year. There is going to be a second annual Astronomicon. But some other things that people had been saying about Astronomicon was there was a big Q&A session with all of the people from M&E. They even did a live stream on it, and Fago Lovers and a couple other people ended up sharing it on Facebook. I watched a little bit of it, but there wasn't really a whole lot that I ended up watching, so I ended up having to talk to some other people. And one person that I actually did get on the phone with after Astronomicon was done with was Sid Jones, because I knew that he was going to be there. He is part of the Lars Street team, and even he has started to get recognition in public, similar to Child's Play Ninja and myself and a lot of us other YouTubers. You know, some people were saying, hey, you're part of the Lars Street team. Some people were just like, oh my god, it's fucking Sid Jones! And he, you know, that, like, being new to that, you know, you really don't know how to take it. But I was just like, yeah, dude, like, that actually gave me the realization a long time ago that, you know, we are now actually becoming public figures. Which I thought was, you know, which I ended up telling him, you know, like, being in the YouTube community for the last almost 10 years and having people recognize us and stuff, you know, that to me I think is really cool. You know, and some of us really are having a hard time at having that happen, but I think it's really cool that, you know, some of us big names, some of us that have been around for a long time, we're getting noticed. You know, whenever we go to shows or we ever go to the gathering, DCG Con, and now even Astronomicon. But I'm getting beside the point. But he ended up saying, you know, that he seriously wished that I was there because that did definitely look like my kind of scene. And I was like, yeah, but you know, like, when it concerned all of the shit that was going on with Twiztid and ICP and stuff like that, I just really didn't feel like it was my place to go. Not to mention, even if I could, fuck it, you know, even if I wanted to, I wouldn't be able to go anyways because money's tight. But he ended up telling me that, you know, this might be something that, you know, even if you do have your problems and everything, you know, maybe it should have been something that we should have all taken a look into, because that Q&A session with M&E, Twiztid was basically saying they don't have any beef with the fucking, you know, with the fucking clowns. There's no beef, no static or anything like that. They don't hate ICP. You know, maybe they have a difference of opinion or something like that, but that's just coming from my own head. But one thing that they did end up saying is that it was really us, the community here on YouTube and a lot of social media people, that really just blew the whole situation out of proportion, is what he said. And I agree, but I also disagree. You know, while I do agree the fact that we have been blowing this kind of shit out of proportion, possibly for whatever type of attention, whether it be for likes or views or something to that effect. You know, something like, there's something that was kind of a driving force for some of us. But at the same time, they gave us all of the fucking ammo that we needed, and we all ran with it, all of us. You know, but it's not really anymore the fact that whether or not there is beef between ICP and Twiztid. It's, once again, it goes back to the whole thing about the march. You know, it's beef between Twiztid and the Juggalos that wanted them to be at the fucking march. You know, that's the whole part and parcel. That's the whole kit and caboodle when it concerns the situation. And, you know, maybe sometime along down the road, motherfuckers might actually squash it all. and you know, but only time will tell when it concerns that. And after seeing some of the pictures of Astronomicon and seeing, you know, and talking to Sid Jones, I have yet to talk to Echo Side Fiend about it, but there are some, you know, there are some things that I do honestly have to say, the fucking people that they got there, I am so surprised that Astronomicon was actually able to get as many people as they did and be able to keep all of their shit intact. And it's cool, I guess, to see that Astronomicon will be here, you know, will be coming again next year. So maybe concerning the situation, I guess, you know, like I said before, only time will tell and determine what might possibly happen within the next year. Because if things smooth out, then there could be a chance that Astronomicon will be bigger and better with more people, including the 17%ers, coming to the fucking Astro. So that might be something to look into next year. Because, you know, as a person who is doing vlogs and doing things on here, doing live streams and doing videos and stuff and covering a lot of stuff on both sides of the, you know, on both sides of the fucking battlefield, you know, or, you know, so to speak. You know, mostly a lot of my stuff has been a lot pro ICP, and I've kind of been shunning Twiztid and MNE. And I would actually like to see, you know, things on both sides of the spectrum. And maybe things will end up mending within the next year. And how about that? That brings in the whole situation with King Krimzon. Yes, I might as well fucking talk about him again because of the fact that, you know, he's still somewhat relevant-ish. Because of Kegan the Creep Ass being on Child's Play Ninja's live stream, I ended up seeing that good old Butthurt decided to post something on fucking Facebook about how there were lies and allegations to what Kegan ended up saying about the event from 4 years ago. Now that's the funny shit too, because yes, you know, Siznak pointing it out, that Crack Rock beat, you know, like put him in a fucking chokehold and stuff like that. I don't give a fuck. I'm not, you know, I'm not that band, and that band's not trying to sue me, so I don't give a shit. And yeah, I honestly have to say that, you know, there were a lot of things in Astronomicon that was going on where I'm just like, this really makes me want to fucking go. Like, Kane Hodder, dude. Like, Kane Hodder is like the ultimate fucking juggalo. And then you've got the Wolfpack going there, and Scott Hall being a fucking juggalo. ABK was there, Vanilla Ice was there, and all of that other stuff. But I'm getting sidetracked. I actually want to talk about King Krimzon because of the fact that Kegan the Creep Ass was on CPN's show last Sunday. He ended up, you know, they basically ended up saying that this dude might actually be the glue that gets the 17%ers and the Twizzlers back into one full circle again. And why is that? Because the 17%ers may hate MNE and the Twizzlers may hate Insane Clown Posse, but the one thing that all of us can agree on is that this dude motherfucking sucks at everything that he does, including inhaling oxygen. That dude fucking sucks at every aspect level of life, and it continues to be shown on Facebook, on Patreon, as well as YouTube. And the funniest thing to me was the fact that he ended up saying on Facebook, yes, Krimzon-X now, which I thought was fucking hilarious, as if he's Malcolm or something. But he ended up fucking posting about how he's gonna try to eventually he's gonna try to like do a pun type thing or something like that when it concerns the bullshit lies that Kegan the Creepass and CPN somehow seem to have conjured up. Now the funny thing was Kegan the Creepass mentioned a couple names. One of them was Morlock Records, which I know the guy who started Morlock Records. I've known Sapo since he first fucking started. And I've actually told CPN about Sapo. And Sapo's actually a very good guy. He just don't like people knowing what his real name is, which is why everybody calls him fucking Sapo. But Sapo started Morlock Records. And one of the people that is in Morlock Records, he goes by the name Crack Rock. And I've known Crack Rock since he was in a duo group called Drastikill with a guy in Kalamazoo named Morbid. And I've known Crack Rock from his ups and downs and everything like that. Crack Rock is actually a very good guy until you get him on his bad side, and apparently this fucking happened at the show. Now what's funny is that because of all of this stuff that was being said, the next, yesterday, while I was on break at work, I ended up getting on Facebook and I tracked down Crack Rock, and I was looking at some of the old comments and messages that he and I shared. The last time I talked to him was about 4 years ago, and he was asking me if I was going to an upcoming ABK show. Now, if you think about this, on CPN's show, Kegan the Creepass was talking about an ABK show that happened around 2014. So this is 4 years ago, and that was Crack Rock asking me if I was going to be going to an ABK show 4 years ago. So I was like, that was the fucking ABK show that Kegan was talking about. So just to be certain. Turn Crazy's sound down and open another window. Right. Yeah, I agree to that, Homeboy Unholy. I don't think you can diss Krimzon more than his own songs, that just the one thing. Now, let me get back to you. Let me get back to this. So I messaged Crack Rock and I said, hey, I heard about this story about how 4 years ago you choked out Krimzon. Is that true? And he said, yeah, although I was on shrooms at the time. And I was like, God, that's fucking, that's gold right there. That's fucking funny. And he said, and basically what he said is that, hey, if I'm entertaining you, then that's what it is. And I was like, dude, anything that happens to that guy that causes him to basically destroy his own fucking career is a gold star and a banana sticker in my book. And the reason why that is because I find it funny that this dude just seems to have found a golden shovel and he's burying himself with it. Like, he is burying himself with the same golden shovel that Triple H tried to use on Daniel Bryan. And it just ain't working out. And that's the funny shit to me. But yeah, he choked him out. But to me, it doesn't matter if Rock was on shrooms or not. It's the fact that he told me that he put King Krimzon in a fucking chokehold at an ABK event. So think about this, okay? I've already established Crack Rock is a good guy unless you get on his bad side. Believe me, what happens when he gets drunk and his, and shit can happen. Like, basically. Like, let me put it to you that way. He gets inebriated and somebody pisses him off, shit will happen. You leave him alone and you talk nice to him, he's a very good guy. I love Crack Rock. Despite all of this stuff that shit has happened in his life. But despite that, I like crack rock. But the fact is that here we are at an impasse, okay? Think about it like this, okay? And I hope that King Krimzon is watching this, or Krimzon-X, or fuck it, Nick. I hope Nick is watching this, because I want you to think about this, okay? You have developed a conundrum upon your own person, okay? On one hand, you have the ability to try to say that what happened was true, and that you ended up getting your ass beat by crack rock, and that Kegan the creep ass was telling the truth. On the other hand, you could say that fucking Kegan the creep ass and CPN are lying, and just by the mere mention of the fact that crack rock ended up confirming what Kegan had said, you are also calling crack rock a liar. And you know how crazy crack rock can be. So why don't you think about that, dude? Although I do have to say that he did actually delete the comments. I am getting messages on here stating that there was some shit going on in my chat. So my apologies. I will have to open this up for a minute. So let's see what we got going on here. So let's see what we got going on here. Echo. Not what I wanted to do. Okay. Yep, I will shout out Maximum Overload with the $2 super chat. He said, "Did you see him respond to my diss? Shit's funny, fam." Yeah, I actually did see that. I thought that was rather fucking hilarious. But he's doing the same thing with you as what he was doing with me, where he doesn't want to fucking mention your name for fear that there's a possibility that you might just blow up somehow. But to be totally honest, it doesn't matter. When it concerns Krimzon, it's just like what Cosplay Ninja ended up saying on his live stream. His highest peak of popularity as of right now is him being on Dr. Phil. So I know that there's a lot of juggalos that are out there that are saying that we need to stop talking about him because, that's what's keeping him relevant and all of that other stuff. And I honestly have to say that I have tried that, where, periodically I just forget all about him. And then he'll come back somehow. 2 years later, he will somehow fucking get back into my head. Somehow. So, and in this situation, it is him fucking being on Dr. Phil. So, now he has this nationwide popularity, and he thinks that he's going to be able to erase all of the stuff that happened here in Grand Rapids. But you know what's funny is that there have been mentions of Krimzon on Facebook from other rappers and other juggalos that have established themselves here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And they all can't fucking stand him. They basically say that he's a veritable blood fart. And I personally think it's fucking hilarious, the fact that this was a desperation attempt for him to get on Dr. Phil in order to get some sort of fucking popularity. The easiest thing that he could have done in order to just stay relevant and popular and actually have a good name out for himself is just to not be a fucking retard. And yeah, I did see that, and I should probably mention that as well, as the fact that Shaggy 2 Dope and DJ Clay ended up bringing up Krimzon in conversation on the Fuck Evo. I mean, I talked about that before. I talked about that shit before, and I thought that was really fucking witty that that type of shit ended up fucking happening. So it's, you know, but to be totally honest, I don't think that we could talk about King Krimzon until our faces turn fucking blue. It doesn't matter what we fucking say. He's just basically, he's not gonna increase. He's just plateauing. Like when Dr. Phil had that show come out with him on it, like his subscriber count on YouTube alone jumped from like less than 1,000 to like 4,000 and something, and now he's only getting like 10 subscribers a day because of shit that was going on before. And I do see some ninjas that have just popped in that I know. I see Mushu's up in here. Warlockside, I just seen that you're here. And some other people. But nevertheless, the fact is that it's no matter what. Like I said before, I tried not talking about him, and long before I knew it, he's on Dr. Phil. So, you know, the way I look at it, the only way for him to try to get more relevant is just to try to screw over more people. That's all he knows. That's all he ever has known. You know? And not to mention, the way I look at it, this whole thing with Kegan the Creep Ass does actually confirm my story that I ended up fucking talking about, where he fucked over ABK in the past. Which I found to be incredibly fucking hilarious. And yes, Don, he is fucking digging himself into a deeper hole. That's the funny thing. You know? The only thing that he constantly is trying to say, though, is like, okay, if something negative ends up happening, it's basically one of two things that's being said. Either A, we're all jealous of him because of his success, or B, we're just haters. You know, who are just following a wave from the whole green jello thing. And I'm like, dude, I've heard more about you than just green jello and jerseys and a fucking moped and you know fucking over your neighbor and all of that other stuff. You know, there's a lot more that I've heard than that. And I have no reason to fucking be jealous, especially when it concerns him. You know, I was smart enough not to continue the fucking rap game because personally I don't think I have that great a game. I just don't have the fucking patience to do everything, and I really just want to do all of that stuff on my own. Like, I want to be the one to make my own beats and engineer all the shit, record all the lyrics and write all of them and stuff like that, and I can't do all of that at once. What I have actually been able to find out, though, is that I do have the ability to talk to people, interact with a crowd, and engage a conversation with other people, and possibly sell them t-shirts. Which is, that's actually something that I've been very interested in doing as of recent time. And when it concerns the fucking t-shirt game, I swear to God, my t-shirts look so much better than his. I don't understand the whole boxed out thing when you can actually just figure out how to crop the outside fucking shit. Like, I just for shits and giggles, I ended up actually taking the time of taking one of his pictures and put him in the foreground of a bunch of Ugandan knuckles. So to show that King Krimzon is their queen and he knows the way. So spit on him to acknowledge the queen. And if he doesn't like it, click at him. You heard Krimzon borrows his wife's strap-on? No, I'm sure he said he was going to borrow it, but then he was going to turn around and fucking sell it on Craigslist. You do want that, the Nintendo Man shirt, the NES Man? Link in the description, Warlockside. Like, fucking hit it. And check out a bunch of the other stuff. I've made 4 t-shirts as of right now. What's up, Catalicious? No, I don't, William Spinks, but I think what I might have to do, I don't know, I'm going to look into Teespring and see if I can find, like, a parachute that I can put the logo on. And that might actually work out for you. Like, 10x? Fucking shit. Just buy 2 of them and then cut you know, cut down the line and then sew them together, and then boom, you've got a 10X shirt. Yeah, and that's another thing too. That, you know, like all of that shit when it concerns, you know, like Kegan ended up opening up the doors for real when it concerned that CPN show and talking about Krimzon, because like if Krimzon is trying to say that Kegan lied about that shit, and then you've got you know, you've got me who actually confirmed that what Kegan was saying was true, that pinpoints Krimzon to be a fucking liar, which we already knew at the beginning of it anyways. So that basically also, it kind of, you see what I'm saying? It's the domino effect. Okay, so he lied about that shit, therefore he lied about all of the stuff that he did, you know, to Green Jello, to ABK, to the people who tried to buy jerseys from him. Hell, you could probably even talk to Real Guido. He tried to fucking do, you know, he tried to do some shit concerning Krimzon and stuff as well. And then the same thing goes for the whole thing with him spray painting dicks on his own shed and then trying to feign innocence. It's like, honestly, like dragon emojis for everybody who could see that being a possibility. King Krimzon tagging dicks on his own shed, as well as fucking trying to feign innocence and placate as the victim. And I'll wait for the dragon emojis. I'm gonna go smoke. I'm gonna go light the cigarette, and I'll be right back. And so that way I can see all of that when I come back. And yeah, saw a couple of dragon emojis. Jesus Christ, Mundane Matt does not know when to shut up. I'm taking a look at this and I'm seeing stuff from Mundane Matt. It's like, apparently Iceland wants to ban circumcisions. I don't care. See, did I miss anything? Oh, well, according to this, I already have one thumbs down. I wonder who that could have been from. Oh, damn, Siznak. Siznak with the controller emojis. Oh, come on, that's not the real Ozzy Osbourne. If it was, it would sound like, SCB was good at the house to show the music sucks though. Damn, I'm just getting a whole bunch of fucking random ass. Hey, that. I think that's Warlockside writing that shit. Yeah, Warlockside, that's all, you know, that's Kegan's emoji. The mushroom is fucking Kegan's emoji now. Fucking Evil Tracy. Oh yeah, and Evil Tracy, like the question did get brought up as to whether or not you were ABK's aunt. And we all, like, I already know the answer to that, so, you know, you really don't have to, you don't really have to explain shit. The unicorn emoji is useful when my daughter is around. She loves unicorns. Oh, what's Krimzon's emoji? Oh, hold on a second. I'll fucking... No, I'll... See, I'll throw an emoji up on there for what I think would be useful for Krimzon. Okay, never mind. I can't seem to find one of a big black dildo. Let's see, is there one that would possibly be one for butthurt? Although I did find one of his wife. Jazzer1, hey Crazy, ever watch the Osbournes back in the day on MTV? Yeah, I did. Progressive Ninja and Jolly Guy 55 pretty much got that right. Dustin Bowles with, yeah. Captain Flannel. It looks like Hello Kitty met Cthulhu on for that emoji on the PlayStation. Two people and a horse. Thank you, Michelle Salazar. Yeah, that actually could work out very well. xrap.com. Yeah, Blaine, like, the PlayStation is actually a pretty useful tool. Alright, Don Chaos. Talk to you later, brother. And I have about 10 minutes left of this live stream, and then after that I'm out myself. You know, it's still the weekday. I actually have a job, and I have to get up at like fucking 6 o'clock in the morning. So I'm gonna give you guys 10 more minutes of my time, and then after that I'll fucking I'll be heading out myself. Bombs. I think Kim is actually a murder rapper, though his music skills, rap sets it back years, in fact. Like, to be totally honest, like here's what I'm gonna tell you, okay? So I'm my biggest critic when it concerns my music, because I've done stuff in the past and stuff, but I've also stepped up my game a little bit when it concerns speed and tempo. Basically, I look at his music like it's me, except like it's slowed down to a quarter of the speed. But one person that I honestly have to fucking plug is Maximum Overload. So if you motherfuckers have not seen it yet, you need to go to his channel and watch the video But Fam. Like, you have to watch that shit. Because, yeah, he basically gives King Crimson a run for his money. And fucking gives him what that $70,000 that he has stolen from people couldn't provide him. Bars. Yeah, and Static produced and engineered the song. There, are you happy, Static? I'm not promoting you all that much because you're not putting enough fucking memes on Discord of me. So, like the last one that I saw, I think it was of it looked like me raping Crimson in my own house in front of my TV, and AC Slater was watching. Yeah. I'm an Easter egg. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's cool. It's whatever. I'm just like, motherfucker. I ain't spitting bars. I'm not gonna spit bars in here. What? Getting raped or raping Crimson? Cow shit, cow shit, cow shit. Right, yeah, well, Brooklyn Menace, you fucking tend to, you tend to make yourself in your own memes. In Crimson's diss, did anyone hear him Jay? It turns out, and this is actually something that I found because I was fishing through Facebook and I saw a post from Sapo. The diss that they played on the Fuck Eva was actually a diss to King Crimson from Crack Rock and another guy from Morlock called Talons. And dude, I've been kind of saying that for a while, Warlock side. But anyways, yeah. So like that was the thing, and it wasn't actually a diss from King Crimson to Jay on the Fuck Eva that they played. It was actually a diss of King Crimson that was on there. Nothing makes me laugh harder than they hating on the king and man, they making me rich. No, they're not. Motherfucker, you keep deleting your videos, you're not getting enough playtime, and you have yet to monetize anything on fucking YouTube. So, how are you getting money out of this? Like, that's the one thing. Like, what, you got like 7 fucking patrons, and none of them are probably going to give you the big money. And he's got some wild fucking things up on there. That to me is, I think, funny. Like, dude, on Patreon, Krimzon has a $500 patron pledge that basically says you will get to know King Krimzon on a more personal level. Basically, you have to pay $500 a month to be his friend, is what he's trying to say. It's like, wow, that's fucked up. Like, I came here on YouTube originally 10 years ago to make friends. And then when the possibility of monetization came into play, I can make friends and make a couple bucks. Let's see, Krimzon is a cross-dresser. He a Miss Doty Fire fam. Yeah. Now, the funny thing, though, is that he actually is trying to sell t-shirts of him dressed in that little fuckboy fashion. I thought that to be kind of funny. It's like, dude, you're not going to deflate the heat. You're not going to fan out the heat by trying to take advantage of you making fun of yourself or people making fun of you. It's not fucking happening. His hats are all cheap. No, dude, his hats have yarn on them made from Mr. Clean Mops. Major wife pay a patron fee for you to talk to her. Oh, damn, that's fucking cold. That is ice cold, brother. Get on my level and get a hat, you doties. What the fuck? Oh, y'all bringing that fucking Discord shit in here. That's great. Yeah, sorry about that. Just, I got parched. Shit, I'm gonna be flat out honest with you guys. I think these like the Patreon shit that I'm gonna be getting is gonna be going towards my kids' fucking ballet classes. Yeah, I'm with you on that, Riders. I need a Fago as well. $1,000 patron fee on my site gets you a black fedora. Just one, or like a different black fedora every month? What's in Krimzon's wallet? That is a fucking good question. Ooh, damn, Josh. Glenn Gilberti disco's better than Crimson Raps. Damn. Just damn. Yeah, I would agree to that maximum overload. Eventually, fucking Static is gonna be like, yo, motherfucker, you better start paying me for these beats. I think Dustin Bowles is actually in the right, in the right path. What's in King Crimson's wallet, maxed out credit cards, but the funny thing is that they're his wife's. His wife's credit card is in his wallet. Yeah, dude, I just saw that. Fuck yeah, dude, Static makes some pretty killer beats. Bronx Sushi 2. No Patreon for me. I'm old fashioned. I get welfare. Well, you know, like I have YouTube, I have Patreon, I have T-shirts and Super Chat and fucking and I still work, so that's a plus. Froggy Fresh and William Hung are better than Krimzon. Dude, Evil Tracy, you have no fucking idea how right you are. As a matter of fact, I ended up taking a look into some shit, and it turns out that Froggy Fresh is going to be here in Grand Rapids in March, and I asked my girlfriend if we're going to go see Froggy Fresh. I would rather see Froggy Fresh than Krimzon, because at least I know that the money is going to go directly to Froggy Fresh. And that's who it belongs to, because he is the baddest of them all. And I've said this before and I'll say it again, like, I fucking love Froggy Fresh. That dude is Danny Kaye reincarnated, even though Danny Kaye ain't fucking dead. And that's the absolute fucking truth. I am looking forward actually to seeing Froggy Fresh next month. How long do you think until Krimzon plans a tour? Apparently Krimzon has been planning tour dates since Dr. Phil, because that's the initial blow up. But I have noticed recently, when it concerns stuff that he's been saying on shit, he hasn't really been talking about his fucking manager and the label that he's apparently signed to. Has anybody else noticed that? I think it's called the Get a Fucking Job Tour. You know, it's once again one of those situations where he's kind of just playing on the whole Dr. Phil thing. Ah, okay. Oh, yeah.